Hi guys, and welcome to day 20 of the 25 sessions of Christmas series. Today we're looking at a full 1 versus 1 session, which is going to start with an unopposed practice so players can get the repetitions of certain movements and certain types of dribbling and 1v1 moves in. Then it's going to go into a slightly opposed practice to actually add a little bit of a competitive element to it. And finally, we're going to look at a small-sided game with a constraint, which is hopefully going to encourage lots of organic 1 versus 1 situations for players to try and exploit. So the first practice starts with a 10 by 10 square setup, and then on the outside maybe a 15 by 15 square setup where players are positioned at each corner. When on the coach's command, the players will dribble diagonally across to the group opposite them, making sure that they go through the inside square while they do it. Now, of course, they're going to have players coming towards them. They're going to have players coming from the side of them. So it's very important that you encourage the players to look not only forward, but also look side to side, so that they can use their ball manipulation skills to avoid the players and hopefully accelerate out of the square. Try and encourage players to keep the tempo going quickly so that they're not standing still for too long. And one of the key coaching points here is to encourage the players to go slow in and then fast out of the smaller square, replicating what happens when they've got players in front of them and when they're looking to use a change of speed to get past them. If you want to increase the challenge, you can ask players to perform a certain skill move in the square. You can ask them to perform a double or even a quadruple if you want to challenge them that way. Make sure that when you do that you're challenging the players to perform that move while they've got someone in front of them, not when they've already dribbled past someone. We want it to mirror what they're going to face in a game, and generally there's no reason to perform a 1v1 step over, for example, if you've already gone past the player. In order to progress it, put someone in the middle, try and encourage them to steal the ball so that players now have the defender to worry about as well as all the other people dribbling. Now they've got a real life chance to use their 1v1 moves, see if they can fake their teammate out and get past them using that change of speed that you've already encouraged. The progression to this session is we go into a 3 versus 3 small-sided game. As you can see, we've got a line drawn down the middle of the pitch. And the purpose of the line is to set a constraint that both teams always have to have at least one player either side of the line. Now, the purpose of this constraint is if the ball does go from one side of the pitch to the other, then there's a good chance that a 1 versus 1 situation is going to be there ready to go. A player's going to get an opportunity to beat their opponent. They're going to recognise whether to go inside, whether to go outside, whether they can use speed to beat that person, or whether they might need to use a feint. It also allows you to challenge players to think about what they're doing before the 1 versus 1. How are they creating space? And you might set your teams up so that some of your more talented players are getting that extra challenge against people that are really going to force them to have to think about that. You're also going to want to think about what players are doing after the 1 versus 1. Is it the right decision to pass? Is it the right decision to shoot? Do you have another player to beat? Do you have to turn around, go back and keep the ball and start your attack again? There's a lot of decisions to be made when it comes to the before, during and after the 1v1 in this small-sided game, and it's a really fun activity. Players really enjoy it because they get a lot of chance to rotate, and it also encourages them to look up and look around and consider how they create space within a game situation, but also because it's small-sided, because it's only 3 versus 3, for under 8s, under 9s, under 10s in particular, those less players means there's a lot more open space for them to see, and they see the pictures that you want them to see a lot more clear. If you like the series so far, then make sure you subscribe to us for day 21, and if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.